All right, a beautiful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Rose Blossom, and of course, it's Monday. It's the start of a new month. That was on Saturday, but I'm going to say this: Happy New Month to everyone out there, Galaxy fans, Women's Corner fans. Yes, viewers, you are very welcome, and Happy New Month once again. Okay, today's quite interesting. We're talking about a topic that is quite controversial, very, very controversial actually, but we have the perfect person to talk about that today. And to watch this program live, you can join us on Facebook and on YouTube at Galaxy TV News. So just, type in Galaxy TV News and watch us live. We are live and direct. And of course, I have an amazing guest. Today's topic is when you are attracted to or you're dating a married man. Of course, this has to do with a woman. But of course, we cannot take it away from the man. But we are concentrating on women. What do you need to do when you feel like you're so attracted to a married man and you know he's married? Or when you just have this lever to start dating another person's husband. Women, be careful. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that today. But before I introduce my guest for today, let's quickly go for a tip. And this one is tips on emotional intelligence. And we need to have this emotional intelligence if we have to deal with serious, controversial topics like this. So yes, if you want to buckle up yourself, engage yourself and build yourself to be intelligent emotionally, I think this tip is the best for you. So let's quickly go check out this tip on emotional intelligence after the breaker. And of course, we'll be right back to the studio to introduce the guest and get talking. Stay with us.
Tips on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, also known as emotional quotient or EQ, is the ability to understand and manage your emotions and the emotions of others. While emotional intelligence is beneficial for everyone, it's especially important for those in leadership positions. Emotionally intelligent leaders can empathize with others, communicate effectively, and manage conflict. All of these abilities are qualities of effective leaders. Tips on emotional intelligence. 1. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is having a clear understanding of your strengths, limitations, emotions, beliefs, and motivations. It sounds simple enough, yet 79% of people find it difficult to cultivate. Leaders who are adept at recognizing and managing their emotions are better equipped to perceive others' feelings and know how to motivate employees. Those who don't could see a slip in performance. Individuals who lack self-awareness may make worse decisions and are less effective at conflict management. By acknowledging your weaknesses, you can build trust and transparency among your team. You can also own your professional development by knowing the areas in which you need to improve in order to advance your career. Number 2, self-regulation. Self-regulation refers to how you manage your emotions, behaviors, and impulses. The more self-aware you are, the easier this becomes. If you can recognize what you're feeling and why you can respond appropriately. If prone to emotional outbursts or overreacting, there are tactics you can use to improve your self-regulation, such as pausing before responding. Give yourself time to stop and think before immediately replying. This could be as simple as taking a deep breath and allowing for a 20-second pause so that your feelings can get out of the way of your thoughts. 2. Taking a step back. Sometimes you might need to leave the room, and that's okay. It's often better to take a walk, drink some water, or call a friend than to make a snap judgment, send a scathing email, or lash out at your team. 3. Recognizing your emotions. Try jotting down what it is you're feeling and what caused the distress. You will likely start identifying patterns. If you know what triggers you, the next time a similar situation occurs, you'll be better positioned to handle it in a healthy and positive way. And if you acknowledge your emotions and give yourself time to process them, you can carefully craft how you respond, and avoid doing anything that could jeopardize the goodwill you've worked hard to build. Number 3, empathy. Empathy is the capability of understanding another person's experiences and emotions. Research has shown that leaders who excel at listening and responding with empathy perform more than 40% higher in coaching, planning, and decision making. By actively listening to your employees and taking the time to understand their wants and needs, you can boost engagement, build trust, and more effectively coach them through challenges. The more your team feels appreciated, the more invested they'll be, which in turn leads to higher morale and stronger company culture. Number 4, motivation. Motivation refers to your ability to inspire both yourself and others to action. Here, it's essential to lead by example. Self-motivated leaders care more about hitting organizational milestones than monetary awards. They set goals, take initiatives, rise to challenge, and stay optimistic during turbulent times. The more positive you are, the more confident your team will feel. Your intrinsic motivation will permeate the organization, and you'll have a better understanding of how to empower employees. And lastly, number 5, social skills. Social skills are all about how you perceive emotions and interact and communicate with others. For example, emotional intelligent leaders can walk into a room of employees with pursed lips and clenched fists and not only sense the tension, but know how to address and resolve the conflict before it escalates. The more in tune you are with your emotions, the easier it will be to assess others. And if you can assess others' feelings, you can more easily build and maintain relationships. Leaders with strong social skills know that they can't achieve success alone. Surpassing goals and reaching milestones requires collaborations, communications, and a shared vision.
Now that is a tip for emotional intelligence. So over to our guest. Our guest for today is UC Samuel. She is a family life coach, emotional intelligence coach. Of course, she is a media professional. She's a teacher, a skilled communicator, and an author. Welcome to the show, UC. Good morning. Okay, UC. Hi. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning.
Can you hear me? Good morning. Okay. Well, I can hear her. Well, anyway, there's something important. The reason why I picked this topic is a lot of us tend not to be attracted to our mates. When I mean mates, someone who is 5 years or 2 years older than us. Some of us like to be attracted to the married ones who definitely probably are way older. Sometimes they're not even that old, but maybe they're like 5 years older, 6 years older. So we tend to be so attractive to them. Maybe, I do not know, but here are the circumstances that a lot of women have given, because I had to throw it out. A lot of women have given why they're attracted first. They believe married men are not, they don't tend to stress the ladies anymore. They already understand what marriage is. A married man already knows that you will say sorry for the rest of women, you will say sorry for the rest of your life. Sometimes you do not even have to offend your woman, you just have to say sorry. And of course, they now understand better. They now are mature emotionally on how to handle women. So I think that is why most of these ladies are saying the reason why I get attracted to married men is because there is no stress. You know, when you ask them for something, they don't start asking you why. You know, they give it to you because they don't like wahala. They just want somebody that will be their peace. that'll be their home. Now, those are for the ones who are attracted. Now, for those who go ahead to date a married man, is because they, according to them, they do not believe in love anymore. They just believe that, let me just please date him, maybe if he can marry me or have a child for him, and that's it. I become a single mother, and of course he's responsible because he's married, so he will take care of his own child too. I don't need to get married to him now. That is the reason a lot of people date married men. So we are here to discuss with UC Samuel to actually tell us if for a fact those things are true, or it's just something we use to rub our conscience so that we can go ahead and value what marriage is supposed to stand for, or what dating, relationship, whatever shape you are, is supposed to stand for. If we have UC, can we bring her up? If not, let's take another tip. Do we have UC now? Okay, UC was still struggling with the network. Okay, let's quickly go check tips. This is tips rather on how to create healthy boundaries. Now, this is for those married men. Sometimes it is not even the singles that are looking for you. It is you that you're looking for the single. You're looking for those young girls that everything is still looking all sharp and, all on point. Whereas you feel like your wife is all saggy and, done for. Trust me, you need to create healthy boundaries. And also for ladies, these men will always come at you. They always want to date you. But if you have a boundary, trust me, no matter how much they come to you, you chase them off. They'll only just remain as friends and nothing more. But how to create these boundaries is what is very important. So let's go check on how we can create boundaries, especially for ourselves, so that people would respect us. Let's take this tip. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Okay.
Tips on how to create healthy boundaries. Clearly identify your boundary. Get really clear with yourself about what the boundary is that you want to set. For instance, do you need your mother to stop calling altogether, or she can call you under certain circumstances? If you aren't clear, you won't be able to communicate your expectations. A wishy-washy boundary is not effective. Spend time figuring out what you need before taking action. Understand why you need the boundary. This is your motivation for setting the boundary. If you don't have a compelling reason, why are you going to allow? Why are you going to follow through with setting a boundary that's out of your comfort zone? Be straightforward. Don't be cryptic or purposefully vague, thinking you're going to spare someone's feeling or avoid a conflict. The kindest and most successful approach is to be direct. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't apologize or give long explanations. This kind of behavior undermines your authority and gives the impression that you're doing something wrong that requires an apology or justification. Use a calm and polite tone. Keep your own anger in check. Don't try to set boundaries in the middle of an argument. You want your message to be heard. Shouting, sarcasm, or a condescending tone or put others on the defensive and distract from the real issues. Start with tighter boundaries. It's always easier to loosen up tight boundaries than it is to tighten loose boundaries. People pleasing results in loose or weak boundaries that are hard to tighten up later. For instance, you set a clear expectation with your ex that you don't want her coming into your home when she returns to children. From this firm boundary, it's easier to later invite her in if you feel it's appropriate. It's much harder to later tell her she can't come in when initially you're giving her free access to your home. Address boundary violations early. Some problems are always easier to manage. Don't wait until someone's violated the boundary a dozen times before you speak up. It's not fair to assume that others know your boundary until you've explained them. Nor is it fair to change the rules and, for instance, abruptly tell your cousin that you're not going to help pay your rent after you've done it with a smile on your face for the past. Use a support system. Starting to set boundaries is tough. It can bring up a lot of questions, a comfortable feeling, and self-doubt. Having a support system is invaluable whenever you're doing something challenging.
Tips on maintaining marital values. Success in marriage does not come merely through finding the right mate, but through being the right mate. These are the tips you need. Number 1, love and commitment. At its core, love is a decision to be committed to another person. It is far more than a fleeting emotion as portrayed on television, the big screen, and romance novels. Feelings come and go, but a true decision to be committed lasts forever. And that is what defines healthy marriages. Marriage is a decision to be committed through the ups and the downs, the good and the bad. But when things are going well, commitment is easy. But true love is displayed by remaining committed even through the trials of life. Number 2, Sexual faithfulness. Sexual faithfulness in marriage includes more than just our bodies. It also includes our eyes, mind, heart, and soul. When we devote our minds to sexual fantasies about another person, we sacrifice sexual faithfulness to our spouse. When we offer moments of emotional intimacies to another, we sacrifice sexual faithfulness to our spouse. Guard your sexuality daily and devote it entirely to your spouse. Sexual faithfulness requires self-discipline and an awareness of the consequences. Number 3, humility. We all have weaknesses, and relationships always reveal these faults quicker than anything else on earth. An essential building block of a healthy marriage is the ability to admit that you are not perfect, that you will make mistakes, and that you will need forgiveness. Holding an attitude of superiority over your
What's the boundary is that you want to set? For instance,
All right, welcome back. Apologies for the delay. Hopefully our network is back. Okay, can we have UC on the screen? Hi, good morning, UC.
Good morning, Blossom. It's been
Good morning.
a very dramatic Monday morning.
Apologies. Network is trying not to be friendly to us today. I do not know why. Okay, so quickly before the network starts behaving its own. Well, my first question is: I asked some young ladies, why are you attracted to a married man, and why do you go ahead to date a married man? So they gave me 2 different responses. The first response is: the reason why I'm attracted to married men is because they already know how to handle we women, our wahala, our trouble, our drama. So most times when they sense this drama coming from you, they just probably give you money. They just probably buy you something, or they just know how to calm you down and allow you do whatever you want to do, and you're fine. So there's no drama of walking out, not talking to you for days, that fight. They don't have the energy because they're already married and they have one, so they know how to deal with women already. Then going ahead to start dating them. Now, the reason is because they feel they are responsible. These are responsible men already. Whatever you ask for them, they will give you. Even if all the men out there cannot give me the love I want, at least the kind of love he's giving me, I can manage it. And if eventually I get pregnant for him, he will definitely take care of his child. I don't need to pressure him for marriage because I know he has a child and I don't want him to lose his home. So he will take care of me, he'll be responsible, and not like the young boys or young men who will tell you, I'm not ready, or you have to go and take it out, or something. So those are their 2 responses. But now, as an emotional intelligence coach, my 2 questions are: first, I know it is not right to even date a married man. Talk more of, well, I've been attracted to them, I do not know why. But why do you think ladies have these things in common? Liking men who are married, or try to date men who are married, based on these 2 reasons that a lot of ladies have summarized it to be.
All right. Thank you very much. It's quite a sensitive topic, controversial in a sense, because it has to do with emotions. And some of these emotions are, most times, people find it difficult to put them under control. And so until we get emotionally intelligent to know how to handle our emotions, not to allow our emotions to becloud our sense of reasoning, we keep making mistakes because we have not been able to master our emotions, to allow them not to take over our sense of reasoning. So be that as it may, the reasons they offer to you are reasons that are quite visible and can even be tangibly felt. Because when you have a married man, to a great extent, you have a well-established life. So everybody loves order, everybody loves security. So when you see as a young lady, you see a man who is already well-established and can provide without much hustle, it means you can literally want to lean on such a person, knowing that there is stability. So in addition to the reasons they had offered you, which is what most young ladies would say, I want you to know that part of the reason is also that they need someone that would help them with their, with their level of emotional connection that will not make it seem as though that they are being disturbed, because if they date a young man who is not married, the whole attention will be on them. So every now and then they keep checking on them. But with a married man, there's a kind of controlled relationship that will not allow him be on their neck every time, both in terms of visit or in terms of other demands. So some young ladies would prefer that, because at the hindsight of their mind, they think it's something they can handle. So while they are dating someone else, and then probably having a married man by their side, they can handle it because the pressure coming from such a person would not outweigh them. So these are few reasons, in addition to what they had said, the people you interviewed or spoke with would offer you, that makes them have a security when you're dating a married man. They also feel that as singles, it does not put pressure on them. Aside the financial stability and security, it doesn't put pressure on them. And also it makes them free to, mingle with more than one person, And so also, I think it also helps them for those who have had a past trauma from their past experiences of relationship. They feel that when they are with a married man, he kind of understands where they're coming from, and also would help them heal faster. For some of them, that's what they feel. That if you have a young man who had not probably experienced the issue of getting married to a woman known to, and that one who had known how to do that, it's a lot easier for him to understand your past experiences, the heartbreak you have gone through, and be able to offer you the emotional healings that you may need. So those are the few things that are around why young ladies prefer married men. But however, any garden that is blooming is being nurtured by someone. All right? So I will stop for now.
So now, since women tend to get attracted to this kind of men, because like you said, security and protection, and of course, someone who gets you, that's one of the most beautiful things any woman would want, who would treat you like a queen and who would not monitor you at the same time, like you could live your life however you want it. Now, my next question is it possible for we ladies to, at least when you say women supporting women, it's somebody's husband. Is it possible? Is there a way we can actually be emotionally intelligent, not to, even if we find ourselves getting attracted to such men who are married, obviously, is there a way we can use to caution ourselves? Is there something we need to do? I know there's this thing called value. You have to put value on yourself and all of that. But I feel like there should probably be a little thing that you could do from your day-to-day life, or how you relate to people, or where you go, I do not know, that could help you at least minimize the way you get attracted to somebody else's husband. Because trust me, when you get married, you do not want people to get attracted to your husband, that they will start dating them, because that's when you start having mistresses and you start having issues in your home. What would you advise them to do?
All right, very, very valid question for any young lady who would want to. Let me tell you what your cousin who is with me said when we saw this particular topic. She was helping to write something to put on her letter. She said, if you're a young lady and person husband, they enter your eye, this topic is for you. This conversation is for you. I beg, come enter so that your eye go clear. So like I said, for your eye to clear, which is where we are now, this is what you need to do as a young, all right? That was out, but I wanted to establish that attraction is a natural human experience, all right? You can be attracted to anybody for so many reasons. It could be for the person's beauty, it could be for the person's intelligence, it could be for the person's entrepreneurial spirit, for so many reasons. So it's not a bad thing to get attracted to someone, but how you handle the attraction, depending on the context of this attraction, is what can make or mar you. So if you're a single and you are getting attracted to a man who is already married, that means it's a dead end kind of relationship. There's nothing that's going to come out of it. So no matter how you nurture your fantasy, you're not going to get anything except you push away someone who is already in that position because somebody is already occupying it. All right. So if you are getting attracted and you're seeing that this person is already occupied, this person already has a woman like you at home, then there are certain things you need to do to control this attraction and channel it in the right direction so that you can also begin to nurture someone else who can blossom to the level where the person can exert this level of influence that you're getting attracted to. So the first thing you need to do is to set clear boundaries. Now, often than not, people enter relationships without having clear set boundaries. Why is this person my friend? Why do I want to be in this relationship? What are the values that could be coming out? What are the gains in this relationship? Is there need at all being here? So those are the questions you ask yourself when you want to set boundaries. And so these questions will help you to appropriate this relationship if it's going to be purely professional, if it's going to be a casual relationship, or if you're just going to keep it at the base level, nothing very intimate, nothing that would unsettle your emotions. So set clear boundaries. Ask yourself, why am I getting into this? So that question will help you know exactly if this relationship is worth giving a trial. Because even, trust me, even if the person is not a married man and is speaking to you, is that every person that speaks to you that you will begin to listen and consider their proposal? No, because there are things to consider. And part of it is, what is in this thing for me? I mean, why am I coming together? This person, do we have shared values? Our values, are they the same? Are we going to the same place? So set clear boundaries so that you can off-limit people who are not necessary to be within the circle of friendship that you need. Now, the second thing you need to do once you begin to see that this person that I'm liking because of the way he handles his task, because of the way he does, is that you need to limit your time alone. As a young lady, the more frequently you speak to this person, the more the relationship and attraction grows, right? Because proximity, they say, fuels relationship, strengthens emotional relationship. So you have to limit your time alone. Avoid being in places that you would have cause to talk alone. Things like night calls, late night calls. These are things that make the heart yearn for that person. And you have to intentionally tell yourself you wouldn't do that because you are trying to make sure that you clamp down the things that will lead you to this person who is not, in quotes, available for you, or you are thinking is available. And then you have to also reflect on yourself, like you're saying, your self-worth. Is this what you want? Do you want to be a second best? Do you want to be referred to someone who came after, for instance, after Blossom, someone who took UC's man? That's the labeling that is not positive. That's the labeling that is limiting. When you have what it takes to attract your own man, nurture him, and show the world. So why would you settle for less? So you have to yourself what and reassure yourself that you have what it takes to start up something and take it to the end. So that's number 3. And then number 4, I said you have to also cut off every form of put together temptation, reduce it or take it completely out. The person wants to take you out on a vacation, you know that 2 of you are going to be alone. Why do you want to go? There's a proverb. They say that meat where you don't want to eat, why do you smell it? Once you smell it, the temptation to say, this one might be different from what I was told will be there, and you want to test it. And once it has entered your tooth, the test ball tickets. So avoid that kind of meeting places that would, or that kind of invitation that gives you room to have access exclusively to the person. And then finally, which I always consider the most important in anything I'm doing, because sometimes you try some of these things and you still need some strength to pull through, especially when you're alone. Pray for strength.
Okay, wow. All right, let's come to me since the network is not friendly anymore. But of course, we heard a lot that she said. She talked about boundaries. So we have to set boundaries. We have to make sure that we do not have close proximity. Let's just use the word proximity. There is no proximity between the both of you, alone or private. Avoid the long calls, avoid the, I don't know, those things that will make the butterflies in your stomach come up for this certain person. That is the best way you can stay off Claire. Anyway, since we'll be waiting for her, hopefully she'll be able to give us one advice before she goes. But while we're waiting for her to get the network back, let's take the last tip for the day. And of course, after the last tip, we'll be able to get one advice from her before we let her go. Let's quickly watch this tip. Emmanuel, take it away.
Tips on how to create healthy boundaries. Clearly identify your boundary. Get really clear with yourself about what the boundary is that you want to set. For instance, do you need your mother to stop calling altogether, or she can call you under certain circumstances? If you aren't clear, you won't be able to communicate your expectations. A wishy-washy boundary is not effective. Spend time figuring out what you need before taking action. Understand why you need a boundary. This is your motivation for setting the boundary. If you don't have a compelling reason, why are you going to allow? Why are you going to follow through with setting a boundary that's out of your comfort zone? Be straightforward. Don't be cryptic or purposefully vague, thinking you're going to spare someone's feeling or avoid a conflict. The kindest and most successful approach is to be direct. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't apologize or give long explanations. This kind of behavior undermines the authority and gives the impression that you're doing something wrong that requires an apology or justification. Use a calm and polite tone. Keep your own anger in check. Don't try to set boundaries in the middle of an argument. You want your message to be heard. Shouting, sarcasm, or a condescending tone or put others on the defensive and distract from the real issues. Start with tighter boundaries. It's always easier to loosen up tight boundaries than it is to tighten loose boundaries. People pleasing results in loose or weak boundaries that are hard to tighten up later. For instance, you set a clear expectation with your ex that you don't want her coming into your home when she returns to children. From this firm boundary, it's easier to later invite her in if you feel it's appropriate. It's much harder to later tell her she can't come in when initially you're giving her free access to your home. Address boundary violations early. Some problems are always easier to manage. Don't wait until someone's violated the boundary a dozen times before you speak up. It's not fair to assume that others know your boundary until you've explained them. Nor is it fair to change the rules and, for instance, abruptly tell your cousin that you're not going to help pay your rent after you've done it with a smile on your face for the past. Use a support system. Starting to set boundaries is tough. It can bring up a lot of questions, a comfortable feeling, and self-doubt. Having a support system is invaluable whenever you're doing something challenging.
I guess his network is still pretty bad. Anyways, okay, we'll draw the curtain. Hopefully we have UC maybe come into the studio, because this topic we are not done and probably have to fix it for next week. But of course, we've come to the end of the program. Our time's already fast spent. One thing I know is you have to create boundaries. If you know you get too attracted to married men, or you're about dating one, or you are dating one, my darling, is wrong. Do not date another person's husband. Then also, you must create healthy boundaries. You must respect yourself. Avoid proximity with this certain person who is married, so you do not get to fall into that line. And also, you have to put value to yourself. Like she said, you do not want to be a mistress to somebody's husband or a side chick, and you're always watching your back. And all this pranksters, going out to the public, and they'll be like, they'll send you a note. You're at the table, you're eating with your girlfriend, and somebody's sending you a note that, oh, the wife is coming and she carry acid. If you know what's good for you, run. It's just a prank, and you stand up and run. My sister, it means you're dating a married man, so please stop so that your mind will be at peace wherever you are. Anyways, that's it. I want to appreciate you, Samuel, for joining us on the program this morning. I appreciate you. From all of us at Galaxy TV, we love you and we say thank you. Now, for our viewers, if you have missed this episode, you can go to Facebook or YouTube at Galaxy TV News and watch all of the programs, promising to bring UC again to talk about this same topic, because it is very, very rampant now in our society.